All right, there goes another week, and there goes an Easter, and we're looking at all this uncertainty happening around us. Watching the news with bated breath. How is it changing property? Stay tuned. We're going to tell you what it looks like on the northern beaches of Sydney.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Billy, the old man stuck in a young man's body. How are you?
Good, thank you. Kind introduction. Look, I can't believe it's quarter two of this year. Where has the first quarter of the year gone?
Oh, I thought you meant 7:45. Yeah, it's gone like nuts. I can't, like, there was Christmas, and then suddenly everything started appearing for Easter. Now that's gone.
Yep, we are steamrolling into the middle of the year, and in uncertain times, might I add.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember a time where there's been so much noise, white noise, background noise.
Do you know when COVID happened? Um, there was two things. One was I used to say to people, if you're trying to understand what's happening, put on your essential glasses or your certainty glasses, I guess, but essential glasses. And if it fails the essential test through your glasses, it's going to be okay. So there was certain sectors that were essential, and they just kept rocking and rolling. And I think in these uncertain times, um, you got to look at it that way. What's essential, and that's what you got to get behind.
Yeah, it is so interesting. There's so much noise in the market at the moment. I guess with COVID, we had maybe just when you turn the news on, one thing constantly fed at you, and that was COVID itself. Now it's a war, it's interest rates, it's different media outlets reporting the market is hot and cold. There's just so much consumer information out there. Trying to
If it's
navigate this
if
as
it
a buyer
bleeds,
and
it
seller.
breeds.
That's right. Yeah, if there's a good saying, if it bleeds, it reads. But if you're a buyer and seller, particularly on the northern beaches, how on earth are you supposed to navigate that? We're going to just give you, I guess, a quick snapshot as to what we're seeing this morning. Hopefully, this helps with your marketplace as well.
Well, it's a bit like the weather. You can really get involved, and you can really double down on stuff that's important, or you can double down on stuff that's not important. So I find, you can constantly be looking at stocks, because you're in it, or you can constantly be watching the news because
Mm.
you're so involved in the weather and stuff like that. So I think you got to pick your poison a little bit. Be careful about what you're or constantly exposing yourself to, because you can put yourself in a bit of a tailspin.
Yeah, easily done. Um, Something I love about property, and let's start off with why we're seeing things hold stable on the northern beaches. It's a tangible asset, very different to something that you can't look, touch, and feel. And whether that's utilized for yourself as essential housing or whether that's utilized as an investment, the money is put into an asset that is bricks and mortar. I think people feel good about that in these times.
I've always said, guys, it's energy doesn't get burnt or buried. And if you look at the processes of day to day living of people, like it it what's happening in the economy, like cash doesn't get burnt or buried, energy doesn't get burnt or buried. It gets transferred. You've got to work out where it's getting transferred to. For instance, the big one's petrol prices. Now, that's straight out of our pockets. But guess what? It's going straight into the pockets of, right? It's energy. It gets transferred. So I think when anything you're looking within the market, don't think, oh my God, it's gone, it's blowing up, it's disappeared, it's burnt. It's not. It's being transferred to another sector, perhaps, or another country, or somewhere else. So property's a great thing where again, if you're running those essential glasses over stuff and say, okay, what do we actually need? So I've witnessed now a recession in the early 90s, lived through it, worked through it. I've witnessed GFC 1. I've witnessed GFC 2, couple of wars, and now witnessing, I don't know what you call this, I guess there was also the war of, they were attributing the Russian stuff to prices of materials going up. Now they're attributing this to the cost of fuel going up. Watching this stuff, and it's just like you just sort of come out the other end.
It continues. I mean, time's not stopping for no one. It keeps moving forward. So
Yep.
yes, it's interesting, to look at all of these impacts and what it has, the net effect on the buyers and sellers. I think actually anyone buying and selling property today, particularly on the buying side, is going to pick it up cheaper than what they will do when things stabilize again. I think prices will stabilize, of course, but there will be a price impact on some of this stuff because there's a lead time on it as well. We haven't felt the full effects yet. So if you're picking up, particularly off the planned stock as well, that's been priced in today's market for tomorrow's property, I think that's a good buy. If there's people locking in 30-year decisions now and they're doing that because they think it's the right property for them and the bank's saying there's the finance to support it, I think that's a great decision as well. And there's more stock on the market right now, so it's helping sellers then get back into the market, which for the last 12 months has been quite hard to do. So we're actually in a really good place, I think, if you look at the silver lining.
And don't forget, the average hold for a property in Sydney is about 13 years. 13 is about the average, 13, 14, say. So the hold period for property is very long. And you're getting in now for a very, very long period. Generally, the only reason you're getting out of property is to get into another property. So you may be in property for triple that time, say 40 years. Would be your investment. Now, over a 40-year period, that to me is essential, which is a good sector to be in. That to me is safe. I think stocks, you're probably in and out, or the stock market, you probably may be in certainly not your whole working life. So again, guys, at the moment, I believe that property market's almost a two-speed economy. There's the stuff that can wait, and there's the stuff that you just have to do. So essential properties are the ones you have to do. So getting into a larger home, getting into a home after you've been married, first home buyer stuff, or that there's definitely in our property market essential stock. And in our property market, there's non-essential stock. Like, do I really need, that? Do I really need to sell that four-bedroom house to buy a four-bedroom house with views? No, that's not essential. It's luxury.
And I'll rattle off a few other contributing factors here. It's perceived stability. It's essential demand. There's income potential here. There is the inflation hedge. Property values and rents often rise with inflation. Leverage advantage, long-term growth history, lower emotional volatility, scarcity factor, and there's a control over value where you can add your own value with renovations. So, yeah.
And I also think there's stability in terms of it's hard to get in and it's hard to get out. Some people are in a mortgage prison at the moment. They actually can't afford another. If they go for the same loan that they're currently on, if they applied for the same loan that they're currently got, they wouldn't get the loan. So they simply keep the property. And also the cost to get out, the cost to get into the next one with stamp duty costs and agents' fees, again, another reason, just stay put. So it puts that stability over property again.
Yeah. Look, if there's any kind of silver lining, I suppose that's it this morning. We wanted to catch up, wish everyone a happy Easter, let people know we're rolling into Q2. But where there's a lot of doom and gloom in the market, there's some of the few positive takeaways we're seeing at the moment.
well summarised, Bill. And I think if you've got to do it, just do it and get in there. And there's very good buying at the moment. I'm seeing very good buying.
Yeah. And on the counter, the sellers, I think they're enjoying more stock. It's that flexibility, knowing that if they sell and take a 90-day settlement, they're going to buy in 90 days. Whereas before, they were taking a 90-day settlement, really wondering if they're going to need a 12-month rental. And I'm not finding people are needing that rental anymore. They're getting back in, and that's the risk-averse way of buying and selling in the same market. So it's exciting. Look, happy to help people navigate uncertain times.
Call us if you've got any questions, guys. Love ya.
See ya.